Hello. This is the upper body part 2. Right now it is Saturday, October 12th, 2019. And here is a public service announcement. Please do not waste your time watching this unless you have a very specific reason to watch this video. In other words, I would hate to waste your time. And for a lot of folks, this would be a waste of time. Okay, well, those that are still there, or 1 or 0, either way, I'm gonna have fun with this. Okay. What's gonna happen in this video? There's a warm-up and then there's exercise. The warm-up consists of a few exercises my dad likes and I like too. Then it is 3 L-shaped chin-ups, 4 glide downs, 7 inverted sit-ups, 13 push-ups, 7 air squats, and 6 bends. That takes care of the warm-up. For the actual upper body part 2 exercises, start out with a breathing exercise. Then it's incline bench, 2 sets. First set of 6, breathing exercise. Lower the weight, set of 10. No, actually, 3 sets. Set of 6, set of 8, set of 10, all with a breathing exercise in between. Second exercise starts out with the breathing exercise and a breathing exercise in between. Set of 8 on chest machine, which is analogous to flat bench. And then set of 10 after the weight has been lowered. Third exercise is lat push downs. So standing lat push downs. Breathing exercise to start and a breathing exercise in between. Set of 8, lower the weight, set of 10. Fourth exercise, hammer curls. Breathing exercise, set of 8, breathing exercise, lower the weight, set of 10. Fifth exercise, and this is the last exercise. It's a little bit different. Starts out with a breathing exercise. Then, in between the sets, no vigorous, no real big breathing exercise. Maybe a breath or 3. First set, 15. Afterwards, 4 sets of 5. And that is bent over flies for the 5th exercise. Okay. Now that I've tried to kind of remember the script, let's go ahead and do this. Doing a couple extra there because my right shoulder is clicking. Kind of want to find out what's the deal with that. Also see if there's pain involved. No, it's running smooth now. Sometimes do it slow, do it careful. Kind of runs the clicking out. And I got a nice feeling in my shoulders right now. Not taxing it too much, just kind of assessing the situation. Okay, so that's the upper half of the exercises my dad likes. Lower half. it's a good excuse. I just figured this out right now. So you use this as kind of an ankle stretch. Maybe go in the opposite way too. So like, that's a bit strange, but it does feel something interesting there. Although, moving my ankle upwards while I'm upside down on here seems more effective. So I can probably scratch that as part of this warm-up. Not that I'm trying to warm up everything in the body. A little off-putting, closing your eyes, trying to balance on one foot. But it's good practice, I guess. Also trying to close my eyes, and while I do different exercises, and if possible, focus on the muscle, the tension, the movement. Just trying to listen to the muscle, I guess, that's being worked. One other thing I want to say is it is day 411, I think, of my quest for more fitness. It's been a long journey, and I'm not looking like a fitness model, but I think it's been worth it. There have been hiccups, there has been laziness, there has been a non-strict adhesion to diet, but I'm in this for the long term, the lifetime. The experiment is going to be 2 years, specifically on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, strength workouts. 3 times a week, strength workouts with accountability, and that's what this is. But I could be in better shape. It'd be nice to get rid of this gut, but I think I've almost always have had it. Well, maybe not. I think there was one time I did, but it'd be interesting to get rid of it. I think I would earn a little bit more respect for the man in the mirror, and just be like, okay, you're working, and it's showing. So it's nice to see evidence of your work. But I'm not going to get disheartened. Whether or not that happens is not really dependent so much on the exercise. I think it's 80% to do with how I eat, and I am still sad to mention that I still eat complex carbohydrates, specific white chocolate Kit Kats. I buy a pack every 2 weeks, and 0 is a very powerful number. A man or a woman can't be a drunk if they're drinking 0. It's a simple logical argument. I can't blame complex carbohydrates if I eliminate them. Okay, so this is lateral leg lifts, closing my eyes, thinking laterally, not trying not to bump into anything. All right, that felt nice. I have a small cooler that I was given when a work site was getting rid of a lot of their extra stuff, and they had these nice red coolers. I think they were nice. Some people say they were pretty lame. Anyway, so I usually keep my candies in there. So what I did, maybe this will work, is I do Andes candy and I do a white chocolate Kit Kat. Like every month, it's one or the other, but it seems like white chocolate Kit Kat's been getting refreshed every couple weeks. I'll buy a bag of Andes candies, it'll last several months, possibly. Anyway, so putting that on the bottom of the cooler and covering it up with protein bars. Who knows? I did that yesterday, and actually I didn't eat a Kit Kat yesterday. So it might have worked. I also didn't eat a protein bar. Also, I didn't think about eating until way later in the day when I got offered some pizza. So, and yes, I went for the pizza. And yes, I overindulged on the pizza. And maybe that's a bad thing. Hopefully it's a less than once a week thing. But yeah, less than once a week, I'm not going to say no to pizza. I don't think I really got my right side very good with that, so loosen things up. 3 L-shaped chin-ups. Let's go real deep in that. Get a good position, straighten my legs. 1, 2. Becomes slightly more difficult when you're trying to nail down that position fairly well. I'll watch the video on that possibly, and if I do watch the video on this, let's really pay attention. Note to self. Pay attention on how straight my legs were, how far I went down every time. I think I started out by going the maximum distance down, kind of felt it, went for that feeling each time. Didn't close my eyes. 4 glide downs. Let's not make these perfect. Let's kind of just get these quick and out of the way. Kind of scary jumping up with your eyes closed a little bit. You go a little further out just to make sure you don't hit the bar. I remember I was playing around with joint locks, and the guy I was playing around learning a few things from had this great advice. When you're in a situation where you're engaged and you can feel at least 2 points on the person, go ahead and close your eyes, because some of what you might do in certain situations might be a bit bloody. And breathe out when you do it, because when blood starts flowing, you really don't want it flowing into your face. So you do your maneuver, rip the skin, whatever. Close your eyes, breathe out. And usually that's in a sit down on the ground situation or a locked up situation. Thank goodness I've never had to use that advice, but it's really good advice. Any 2 points, they got you in some sort of grab or choke or whatever. And yeah, it was an interesting thought process that got him to that point. I don't know if that was taught by somebody else, but a lot of useful things. Well, a lot of intriguing things learned. Useful. I'm not a big fan of fighting. I think it's kind of the most ignorant, not the most, but a pretty ignorant form of communication. But sometimes I've heard that it's the only language spoken in certain situations. That's sad. But if you're going to be forced to speak it, you might as well develop a little bit of fluency. Just a tiny bit. But training is kind of fun. I miss that. Haven't done any of that kind of stuff in a while. Probably be terrible at it. Part of me thinks if there's any kind of emergency type situation where I have to fend for my life, I'd like to think some good things would kick in, but now that I think about it, maybe not. I don't want to find out. if I get the opportunity, maybe I'll resume a little bit of different little training ideas on my own. But health span is way more important than that right now. I live a very charmed life. I don't have to worry about anybody coming after me. I don't have to worry about I don't really have anything to rob. Or anything I do rob is like, get robbed from, it's like really hard to unload. Like, really? You want a customized drum set that's not customized for anybody else in the world but me? The only person that you'd sell that to is me. And you stole it from me, so I kind of know where it comes from. So, yeah. Not a fan of jewelry or coins or easily, I don't know, accessed and sold wealth and all that kind of stuff. Shiny rocks. My mom was a big fan of the shiny rocks. I used to get on her case for that. I should have shut up and adopted a better strategy. One strategy that says, listen, I'll give you X amount of dollars. I was making okay money then. I'll give you X amount of dollars. You have 3 months to make me some sort of profit on that, and then I'll invest in you again. Something like that. Just give her the challenge. Are these things really that valuable? And are you timing the market just as good as you say that you're doing? Because she was in acquisition mode and she was never in selling mode. Which is fine if you're a long-term investment. Matter of fact, I prefer long-term investments. Less anxiety that way somehow. But she was under the illusion that she would always sell them and make this great profit. Hopefully that was not an excuse just to herself. It was just an excuse to the rest of us who saw what she did. Because I'd feel pretty sad if I lived and died under that, false pretense. Or never even got to act it out. Never had that moment saving up and working hard for this one, for these sales, and never having it come to fruition. So I think it's good to remember the people that have done us good in our lives. I mean, it's been several years since my mom passed away. But I try to give a happy remembrance. Yeah, remembering the people who died. Unless they killed themselves or something like that, then, fuck them. I wonder why when people use foul language, it's sometimes, oh, pardon my French. I mean, it's funny, and I guess that's why people use it. But have you ever been like, somebody say like, oh, fuck this. Oh, pardon my Portuguese. Get you thinking, what? Alright. Enough being lazy and talking. Although I think I'm just having fun conversing. Gonna stretch a little bit to the side here. Gonna do a couple of those ankle stretches. Yep, that's kind of cool. I don't really move up too much, but a little bit's good. 7 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Oh. to feel good in that stretch. Let that kind of linger a bit without my feet moving too much. Get into this stretch a little bit again too. It's a good stretch. I love the ankle weights. They're always where I leave them. Very dependable. They don't go out on the town. They don't make excuses. They don't answer any phone calls, nor do they return them, but you always know where they are. They hold you up. You depend upon them. Thank you, ankle weights, or ankle gravity boots, even though they're not really a boot. Ankle gravity things. Gravity boots, why not? That felt good. All right, some push-ups. I'm gonna switch the angle here. Today's might be a slow one. I'm gonna relax, do some good breathing. Maybe have a couple thoughts that come to mind. Might editorialize on those. 2, 3, 4, 5. When you close your eyes, you go down a little bit slower near the end. I think it's 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Straightening and bending my back during that a little bit. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seems easier and more to put your hands out to a certain extent, all the way out. 6, as opposed to 7, where you have to lean forward to balance out your weight. Speaking of leaning forward, I'm also going to try to move my hips back a little bit more during this. 1, 2. Let's see if I can put my knuckles on my feet. 3, almost. 4, 5, 6. All right. Feeling good. That is the end of the warm-up. Time for a little bit of weightlifting. All right, I'm gonna start out with the incline bench. It's gonna be 3 sets. Breathing exercises in between. I say this to remind myself. Hopefully, I will not have to look at the script. I think I got this by now. I've done this a few times. All right, set of 6. kind of a process to get onto into the position. Putting it kind of on your knees. The closer to your knees, the better. I guess maybe too much weight directly on your knees is not a good thing, but where I'm at's not too bad. I'm gonna use my legs to leverage the weights up because doing it any other way seems like it's at risk of injury for me. Maybe somebody a bit stronger can just muscle through it, but not a big fan of, like I said, one of the worst workout injuries I've had was on flat bench, putting the weights down, just using 2 dumbbells. And yeah, I tried to do it slow and controlled and should have just let it hit the carpet. Speaking of slow and controlled, here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. A little bit of momentum, trying to get it back to the knee position. And I am fine with that. Let's dial it back a little bit for the set of 8 that's coming up. Really trying to think of the quality of the repetitions I'm doing, because there's not a lot of quantity, so the quality is becoming important. And also, it's not like an amount of weight where I have to really just muscle through, rely upon momentum and some sort of just, you know, that kind of thing. Kind of don't need to go there with this, so control will probably give me the capabilities I want, which is control, blood flow, more specifically, lifelong strength. Crossing my fingers on that. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's say doing that exercise, you got some goofiness in your shoulder. You do it, and instead of using a whole bunch of momentum right here, let's say that goofiness hits right there. So as soon as you go past that spot, or maybe it's right here on this one, so you got 2 different spots, and you're doing it both at the same speed, and you're going through 2 different spots, but here, your body would really want to throw in extra momentum kicking in right here, so you can just kind of glide through that area. And right over here, your body would kick in. So the independent dumbbells, if you're trying to keep them together with control, doesn't let you kind of cheat on that. And if it's not too much weight where you have to use momentum, I believe those weak spots, you're only as strong as your, weakest link. I don't necessarily believe that, but I believe that philosophy kind of falls into lifelong strength. And it's kind of smoothing over, but I think the strong spots, there's enough weight on there. I'm thinking my overall strength throughout the whole repetition is increasing as well, because that control, that kind of moving a little bit slow, and I'm not moving ultra slow, but just slow enough to kind of pay attention. And who knows, maybe even the pain and tension of the muscle leads to something else. These are things I'm not sure of. I'm hoping to progress better. I'm not sad about the progress I've gained. I think I've gained a little bit, but in 411 days, I think I would be a little bit further in my path. I think the aesthetics would be more there. The aesthetics aren't really there. But then, the original goal of this was not about aesthetics. The original goal was noticing a weakness in the knees, specifically my right knee, that I never had before. I had it for 2 years, just in isolated spot. 1 year here, and then the next year at this almost the same time, I had it again, and that's been largely eliminated. If I can get my weight down, I think, to maybe 175 pounds. Right now, my body just wants to stick around 200. Maybe that's complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates, great. Broccoli, awesome. Mixed veggies, great. The sauces I put on them, got to be careful. I should lean more into the hot sauces. It seems like hot sauces have a lot less calories and a lot less sugar and all that kind of silliness. High fructose corn syrup, all that complex carbohydrate stuff. So, I don't know if it's a good sauce, but mayonnaise on mixed vegetables. I've tried it twice. It's really good. I wanted to get my fat numbers. I realized mayonnaise was almost all fat, and I was like, okay. But then again, 60 grams of fat in a lot of mayonnaise. Like dialing in your mayonnaise so you get 50 grams of fat because you're getting the other 20 from other sources that day. May not be the healthiest thing. Yeah, I'm eating healthy. Blomp, blomp, plopping down the mayonnaise. I still have to maybe research that a bit better. I'm sure that there's better fats for you than the fats that are in mayonnaise. What I keep on hearing is this MCT oil stuff. Don't know really much about that. I do know a little bit about coconut oil. Don't really like it. Same thing with olive oil. But where I was circling around to this thought I want to contain in this little beat right here is I am happy that I can go all the way down and not feel any weirdness in my knees. So mission accomplished. Now that mission was accomplished 4 or 5 months into this journey. Now I'm making for certain that it doesn't come back. And that's really important. Now as far as I know, my knees are pretty healthy. I mean, yeah. Even sideways, And then you gotta start playing hacky sack more. I got 3 hacky sacks. Bought especially to test to make sure, because when you hacky sack, you move your knees in unpredictable ways, and I want to kind of find out where, juking and jiving, especially that kind of stuff, if it really gets in. Also, let's see. Yeah, let's try the outside again. Hey, there we go. All right, one more time. All right, that's something here we go. All right. I'm not able to hit it straight up, but a little bit to the outside. All right, that doesn't feel too bad. Didn't feel any twinges on the knees. Didn't connect with the hacky sack, but that's okay. And I love the idea of social lubrication without alcohol. And this seems like, yeah, it's some people say it's a hippie game or a little kid's game, but I guess I'm turning a little bit more granola. Thinking about learning more about yoga and stuff, specifically some of the breathing patterns. I'm not into Kundalini breathing. I just don't like holding parts of breath so much, but if I see benefit in it, I'll go for it. I know that there's breathing exercises I've tried that can pretty much get me nauseous. So, speaking of breathing exercises, synopsis of what I just said. Immediate goal of the life change that I experienced over a year ago. Immediate goal met. Tertiary goals that started popping in my head, like I'd look really physically fit, have not happened, and that's okay. Like I said, it would have been a nice thing, it would have been a super cherry on top, but it's no reason to stop. And partially, it's also a good thing. Not seeing those aesthetic results means that I can tighten up the diet better. And if I just look at the aesthetics of myself and just like, that's not where I want to be, it's like I said, my hypothesis is it's instead of complex carbohydrates once every week. Oh, I won't say that. I'm eating sometimes one of those Kit Kats like every day, once a day, and one package, sometimes two, sometimes three. But yeah, that's only once a day, but I only eat one meal a day pretty much. So, yeah, dial that in better. And maybe it's also more about caloric restriction too. Maybe I'd be in my best to really count the calories. I count the macronutrients and I convert those to calories, but dial it in at 1,800 calories instead of 2,000. Who knows? Maybe 1,750 would be a magical number. 1,760. Make the number mean something interesting. I'm sure something amazing happened on this planet every single year, including the year 1760 AD. Find out what happened that year. Amazing things that have happened that year. Or make it 1776. That's a good year right here. That's my calorie count, 1776, because I live in the U.S. and it seems like a patriotic way to be healthy. I don't know. I think I'm silly enough to believe that. I think everybody else would think it's lame. But, it just turned a key in my head. I thought that was pretty cool. Imagine eating 1,776 calories every single day. And you're doing it for America because you're here and you want to be a good citizen. And part of being a good citizen is being able to move about well. Being able to lift up somebody's groceries, be able to pick stuff up, be able to help people out. That fits. I like that. That jives with me. Why 1776? It's a fun number. I'm not even throwing the patriotic stuff. And, how patriotic can you be when you've only been to a couple countries in this world? I think it'd be an interesting challenge to visit 100 countries and really experience them, live there for more than just a day, and then come back and focus on all the good stuff about this country, because what you see is somebody else's perspective, not your own. So when you see terrible countries that have all sorts of problems, yeah, that's probably genuine. But you're not seeing it from your perspective. You're seeing it from somebody who's reporting on it in their perspective. And every perspective has shadings, even the most objective, which is part of being human. And I'm okay with that, for the most part. It hasn't bit me on the ass too much. Wow, that's a lot of talking. And that was just the first set. So there was enough talking there where I'm just going to do a quick breathing exercise, not really much. If I get into yoga and get too deeply into it and get into hacky sack a little bit too deeply, I am definitely going to write a couple death metal songs where I sing, just to balance out the equation. Yeah, he's very hippie-ish. Listen to his new song. Blah, you know. It needs to be done. That equation needs to be balanced. The death metal song, though, to balance out the death metal song, it's going to be called Kittens and Rainbows. Kittens and Rainbows, Kittens and Rainbows. You know, that kind of thing. Then it's all going to be like slow motion videography of like kittens getting into play fights, but it's going to like brutal, and then like maybe some like After Effects type editing, like the kitten hits the other kitten in the head, and you just see like the head explode. Just because balancing that pendulum back and forth, you know. Yeah, it's death metal, but it's Kittens and Rainbows. Whoa, those kittens are killing each other, you know. But they're not really killing each other. It's all cheesy effects that look very fake, you know. Basically, kind of a Mortal Kombat of kitten fighting in slow motion and different things. Fast slow motion, ramp up the video when the kitten's hitting the other cat, just wham! And then like slow motion as the head explodes and the eyeball hits the screen and all that kind of stuff, you know. I think I mentioned one really cool scene from a book I've been reading where this guy has these explosives because he did a kind of a jailbreak. He went in, looked like a guard, brought out the person he was bringing. It's medieval fantasy type stuff, but they have alchemical magic and different things. So he still has one on him. He gets in a fight with this one guy that he hung his friend, and real quickly, the fight is just him and the other guy for a split second, and to the other guys, you know, the guards that are with him, he wants to kind of intimidate him. So he has this explosive thing, and the guy opens his mouth. He puts it in there and he gives him an uppercut. He stuns him and gives him this great uppercut, and he closes his mouth around this explosive device, and and he hits him so hard he launches him in the air. The main character is a pretty strong guy, launches him in the air, and then like the guy's head explodes, and it's kind of funny. Now, if I was the writer here, I would have written a kind of a reactionary thing, and like, you know, later book or whatever, it comes back, the main character's like, that guy is so strong, he hit a guy in the head and his head exploded, you know, that kind of thing. I have it on a good source, and it was really just this sleight of hand. But so far, I think I'm on the second book, and it's a series of 3 books, and it hasn't mentioned that again, but it would be a nice kind of full circle there. Wow, I'm talking way too much. I'm thinking way too much. I should be working out, but that's half the fun. I remember having these conversations in the gym, as long as nobody was waiting for weights with friends. Just be like, hey, or we'd be waiting for a specific machine or something, and because we're gonna, you know, do burnouts on it or something, and just waiting for it, and just like, no, work through your full sets. We're gonna be quick on this. So yeah, wait till you're done, and we'd have the conversation about all sorts of silliness. I remember one time we had a really serious conversation about like Ayn Rand and objectivism and all that kind of stuff, and it went into all like the silliness of this one character that dates all these women, and all of the women don't think that he's sleeping with all the other women, but he's just not sleeping with them. He's really not sleeping with any of them, and it's just like this web of and it's, you know, Ayn Rand, written by a woman, so it's an interesting perspective. All right, set of 8. Six, 7, 8. That was a long talking break. All right, let's dial it down. Next one's going to be a set of 10. Little tiny flashlight. I love these things. It's losing a little bit of its brightness, but that's okay. It's sad that I just can't go and easily buy another battery for it. Although I think the way it's set up is once the battery gets run out, you kind of throw it away. That seems like a shame. Seems like a high quality light. I'm gonna see if I can find another battery. There's a whole bunch of tiny screws here. Even if the flashlight was $1.50, I'm thinking, the sad thing is the battery's probably $2 or $3, but I'm trying not to create so much waste. Seriously, I create so little waste, I can not take my trash out for like a month, which sounds kind of gross, yeah. But, you know, although I've seen a couple bugs around here, so I probably should be taking out my trash every week. And my trash is usually bags from fake chicken and broccoli, mixed vegetables, that kind of thing. So they do have food. And I don't waste a lot of water trying to rinse it all out, because, hey, now you're rinsing it out to get rid of the bugs, but you're wasting a lot of water. It's best to just kind of put them in receptacles in areas where you don't see bugs, and elevate them in a weird way. So it makes a bug kind of like, oh, that's a difficult place to get around. I should probably buy bug traps and set them in spots where I've seen bugs, and then on those spots, either near the trash receptacles or near, and I have a few trash receptacles, so it's pretty easy, or someplace along the way that's convenient. Breathing exercises. Enough about house stuff. When you think of something, do it. Right now I was thinking, I saw a bug in my shower today, and the holes in the shower are pretty big, so the grate, the small tiny palmetto bug can fit its way through. A big one can't, but it can fit through, get big on the outside. So right now I found an extra wire mesh. I'm gonna put that wire mesh on top of that drain. If I was really serious, I would take a candle and put candle wax around the edges and really stick it there, but I'm not that serious. I'm just going to put it there because it's a possibility of making things better. Take care of that right now. And my thought is an agile palmetto bug can lift it up, but these are just babies that can fit through there, so maybe a baby can't. I don't know. I'm little pieces towards a solution, you know? And having a bug in your house, I mean, this is Florida. It's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I straightened out some of my, I did see light coming in through my door, so, and it doesn't take much for like a brown recluse to crawl through that light, so. Like I said, I think one got in here with horrible results one time, so. I readjusted that weather stripping, and now I don't see light anymore, so that's good. Too late though, I think. I'm not sure if a brown recluse killed my cat or not. I have no idea what killed her, but it makes the most sense. Did I do breathing exercises? Change the subject, man. But rememberness with appreciation, so I appreciate my little girl. She was a good girl. Had a really good conversation with a friend of mine, and I basically said something about my little girl and all that. And she knew. I guess she just found out. And she lost her furry friend and lost her mom like 2 days afterwards. Somewhere within the window of 2 days, both these events happened. And I thought it was my bad that, like, within 14 days, I think, my grandmother died, and then my cat, my little girl, died. I can only imagine what it would have been like if it was within a 2-day window. Life can be pretty messed up. But overall, I think it's worth it. That's the perspective I've very willfully chosen. Set of 10. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm definitely feeling it. It's kind of cool when the weight just like throws you forward. A little bit of momentum on the not the actual workout, but the putting back of the weights. All right, thank you, dumbbells. A lot of people call you dumbbells, but you wear that name proudly. Heard something by a guy named Jim Quick, I think his name is. Has a really cool sequence of, now I'm blanking on it. No, a sequence of podcasts about memory and making your memory a bit better. And one of them, I think it's an offhand comment, but I should probably do a little bit of research on this, about him juggling in the morning. And that juggling actually makes him, does something cool with his brain. I can't remember what, but it's like preparation for agility, mental agility. So, every day I want to try a little bit of juggling. Oh, only about that. Let's see here. Right hand not as good as the left. Right hand's gonna get a little bit more practice. Tried that with pens in a doctor's office the other day. Thank goodness no customers were in there. I mean, I wouldn't have done it around customers anyway. But it's kind of funny, kind of pathetic, but funny. And there's something funny about things being pathetic and weird. I remember I never really got into David Bowie. Till recently, I guess, strangely enough. You know, after his death, people look in retrospect, what was it about this guy? The Under Pressure was, like, I only knew three songs. Under Pressure, Life on Mars, and, God, what was the other one? Under Pressure, Life on Mars, and then there was a third one. And the third one I actually used to know the best. Oh, goodness. As soon as I start thinking about Under Pressure, The Man Who Sold the World, that's the one. That was like, whew, I really like that song. But anyway, a little while ago I watched videos of, interesting things about David Bowie, and one of those interesting things, one interesting thing was probably one of the lamest videos I've ever seen, was him and Mick Jagger doing very lame things. And it was just like, but they were having fun, so hey, you're entitled to have fun, especially when it makes you look lame. So I envied the lameness of it, Anyway, but he did this thing with a ball, and I think one of the moves was like that, but it would just be like, I don't know. And obviously it was not a hacky sack, it was an actual very solid, probably piece of, some sort of fiberglass, or not fiberglass, but that other thing, not amalgam, whatever. It was, a sphere, a see-through sphere, probably some sort of hard plastic. Anyway, maybe it was glass, but I would hate to do all those things with a glass ball. So it looked interesting. Maybe I'll learn a little bit of that. Maybe that's kind of like juggling in its own way. It looked cool, and it's probably good for hand dexterity. All right. That took a little bit out of me, I'm not gonna lie. Feeling good though. All right, on to the second exercise, which is chest machine. All right, let's hurry this up, because let's do the speed round. Chest machine. I already set the weight. Let's just do it. Different breathing exercise. Forced breathing, 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, Lower the weight. Set of 10. Power through. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think I was going back as far as I should have on those. But that's okay. Weight's going to actually stay the same there for that. I'm going to focus on right there. Let's take a step back. All right, there we go. Lat push downs. 1, 2, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What am I doing? Not working out, talking about David Bowie of all things. Why on earth? What is going on with me? Set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feeling it. 7. Don't give up. 8. Or at least not yet. 9. 3. That was enough. All right. 3 exercises down. 2 on the speed round. 4th exercise coming up, hammer curls. I did not reset the weight for the hammer curls, but that's okay. Fortunately, I can do that rather quick. There we go. In the speed round, it's not the 7 breaths. It is the 3, and they're very fast. Almost misdialed that. Wrong number. You have lifted the incorrect number of weight. Set of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna dial it down. I was suspicious that I could do the set of 10 with the same weight. Sometimes I do that if I'm feeling pretty good. But today, in interest of speed round, just go with this. Set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of momentum there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Last exercise, set of 15, 4 sets of 5. All right. I'll move that all the way out of the way so I don't bump into it. good spot. Really gonna open up my ankles or my knees, push them beyond 90 degrees, push on, grab the edge of my seat. All right, that feels pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. First set of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second set of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third set of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fourth set of 5. I'm gonna make this one a little bit prettier, gonna do it a little bit nicer. I'm actually gonna tuck my legs in a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, holy cow. Wow. All right. Burned through the last part of that because I was just wasting a lot of time talking. That's gonna be my, I don't want these videos going over like an hour and 10 minutes. It just seems bad form. Whew. Yeah, I spent 2 hours in the gym, but I only did 5 exercises. You know, that kind of thing. All right. Below the hour, 10 minutes mark. Sweet. All right, thank you. Thank life. I'm feeling grateful. Got through that in like 8 minutes. It's possible if I change the breathing technique, but interesting feeling. All right, later it shall be.